Kadosh, Erev Tov, Masechet Gittin Daf Pechet, Amud Aleph, 88A1. Says the two dots. The two dots comes and it says as follows. Yeah, Hatmu Edim B'Rosh Daf. If you have Edim that they signed at the beginning of the page, Annie, is it so? Are you going to tell me that the Edim specifically have to sign at the bottom of the get? Varav Chatimin Atzad. Rav used to sign on the side of the get. So answers the Gemara, Hatam b'shegago klapei aktav. Says no. There, the Chatima itself was turning towards the Ktav. So for sure, since it was facing the Ktav, so therefore we know that was the Ktav. That means that he was actually signing on that and not something else. Ela hadiktani hikif rosho shel ze betzod rosho shel ze ve'adim emsa. But when we said if you have two gitim, right, one like this and one like this, but the rosh shel ze keneged rosh shel ze, the head of it like this, upside down, and this one upside up. Okay, and then you have the edim in the middle. Yeah. So he says, Shnehem Psulim, they're both going to be Pasul. You have the pictures on the bottom. Yeah. So he says, why don't you just see which one is Klapei Ktav? And that's the kosher one. Answers the Gemara, Hatam, Deramilei Ki'ibra. There, it was like a Briach Vedelet. That's this picture. Meaning like this. At the beginning, we thought it was like this. Like this means that you have the two different gitim. Exactly, mechatima be'emtza. But it was no, aval zaya upside down. One of them was upside down, the other one was upside down. But then we said no, it was, how do you say, vertical? Correct? Vertical. That's what you said. No, it was vertical. That's what it is. Okay. So says the Gemara, if so, seifa dektani. When we said in the seifa, rosho shel ze betzad shel topol shel ze, v'edim be'emtza. We said that what happens if you have the beginning part of one, right? Betzad sofo shel ze, right? And the edim were in the middle. Et edim niklim besofo, that which the edim are read with it at the end, it's going to be kasher. The idira mikivra, if you're going to tell me now that it's vertical, just like we just said, lav behadi haimikivra, you can't read it with anyone. Meaning, if you have a get here, and the witnesses are sideways in the middle, it's not read with any of them. Not with the first one, not with the second one. It's not with because if it's going to be like this, so okay. So do you read it with the top one, the bottom one? You could start saying which one. Here it's sideways. It's not read with any of them. What are you talking about then? Yeah. So says the Gemara, Ela Rav bediske havachatim. You're right. Rav would sign on an igeret hasmana that was written in his name by the Sofer Bedin. When they used to come and they used to give hazmanot. You know what hazmanot are? Yeah. When you used to summons. When you used to come and summon someone to court, he would sign. So therefore, sometimes he would sign it on the side. And therefore, since it wasn't a shtar mamon or get, so that's why it was a makbi. Meaning, Rav would never sign on the side if it was a get or a shtar mamon. It was on hazmanot. On hazmanot, he didn't care. Wherever it was, boom, he signed it, boom, send it out. Tell them to come to Bedin. That's what he used to do. Okay? Fine. Two dots. Get sheketavo ivrit. Ktav sofer ve'ed kasher. Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah. Rabbi Yirmiyah says, Chatam sofer shaninu. We're not talking about Ktav sofer. Because what does the Ktav sofer help? It says Ktav sofer means Chatam sofer ve'ed. It's going to be kasher. Okay? So Amar Rav Chasa says, how many use this? Rabbi Yosef. Because if you remember, we had a machloke, can a sofer be an ed or not? Yeah. So here, this is going like Shitat Rabbi Yosef. The default was like this. Exactly. So he comes and he says, Rabbi Yosef comes and he says, you cannot make a shliach ledibur bilvad because mile lo nimsel l'shliach, and therefore we're not going to suspect that the Baal said to the two people that they're going to tell the sofer to write it and so then to sign it, right? And then they're going to change it. So because according to Rabbi Yosef, the husband has to say it himself. So therefore, since he doesn't suspect that, so the sofer could be an ed as well. So you have chatam sofer ve'ed. It's going to be kasher. Fine. So says the Gemara, Hai ketuvat chatanim dati lekamed Rabbi Avu. There was a ketuvat chatanim that came in front of Rabbi Avu. They have a yad elel tofsa that he wanted to be mekayem etzeh. So what happened was the edei kiyum, they recognized the tofes aget, velachatimat yada dechad sada, and the chatimat yad of one of the edim, but they didn't know the other ed. Everyone understood what happened? One more time. They only knew one of the edim, but they didn't know how to verify the other ed. Remember, in the olden days, you had two witnesses. Now, if they're not around, what do? You verify the signatures. So how do you verify the signatures? You come and you say, these signatures are good signatures. So he comes and he says, so they only knew one of the signatures. So Savar Lachshura, he says, you know what? It's probably going to be kosher. Right? Elmaleh Rabbi Yirmiyah, Atam Sofer Shanim. He says, no. There, which means, right, that we're talking about over here. Okay, so here we're talking about that Chatam Sofer Shaninu, which means that the Sofer signed it. And therefore you had the Sofer and another witness. However, though, if the Ktav Yad of Sofer is not considered Chatimat Ed, so it comes out that there's only one Ed. If there's only one Ed, you can't come and verify a document. For you to verify a document, you always need two Edim to verify a document, correct? So you have two witnesses, you come, you verify. This one is of the boss, and this one is of the second boss. Yeah? The big boss, right? And the second boss. Yeah? So that's what you have to have. Okay? Fine. Next two dots. Yeah? Okay. Katav chanichato v'chanichata. Kasher. Huh? The new collection. He says, if he wrote chanichato and chanichata, it's going to be kasher. So it says that if he wrote down chanichato and chanichata, which means his name and her name in the nickname, it's going to be kosher. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in a Braita, chanichat avot. When we're talking about now chanichat avot, yeah, begitin ad asara dorot. It's going to be even until 10 generations. Ibn Shimon Elazar says, shlosha dorot kasher. 3 generations is going to be kosher. Mikam ve'elach, it's going to be pasul. Kiman azdah de amar Rabbi Chanina. So who does this go like that? Which Rabbi Chanina says, katav chanichat avot begitin until 3 dorot. This is going to be who? Like Rabbi Shimon Elazar. So Ravuna says, Ma'ikra, what's a pasuk? Ki toli banim uvnei banim v'noshantem ba'aretz. What does that mean? Banim is your children, is dor sheni. Bnei banim is dor shlishi. Mikam ve'elach, it's written v'noshantem, which means after 3 generations, you forget about them. Right? Yeah. No. Kitoli banim. V'etchanan. Iowa. Yeah. So what does that mean? Yeah. Seven. Kitoli banim. Yeah. Amar Rabbi Yoshua v'Levi. Because you know, if you know where it is, you don't have to say dvarim. It's not dvarim. It's in the parasha. Yeah. Kitoli banim is even aliyat shlishi. It's in the middle of what we read on the Tisha B'Av. Amar Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi. Says Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi. Lo charva eretz Yisrael. Listen to this. Lo charva eretz Yisrael ad she'avdu ba shiva batei danim. Do you know that it was going to have 7 families of melachim? The Eretz Yisrael was destroyed once they served the 7 batei dinim avodah zarah. Which are the 7 batei dinim avodah zarah? Yerovam ben Nevat, Ba'asa, right, ben Achia, Achav ben Omri, Yehu ben Nimshi, Pekach ben Elmaleh, Menachem ben Gadi, ve'Hoshea ben Elah. Shnemar umlala yoledet hashiva nafcha nafsha. Ba shimsha be'od yoma bosha ve'chafera. What does that mean? The pasuk is actually coming and teaching us this important halacha about that once you're going to have this, the different generations coming, that's when it was going to be destroyed. Okay, that's when no, there were 7 batei dinim that they went and they did avodah zarah. These are like 7 families of melachim that they went and they did avodah zarah. Right? No, so that it's teaching us that Am Yisrael yeh umlal after we're going to have 7 mishpachot shel melachim shel avodah zarah. Okay. So he comes and he says, right? No. Sorry. Rabbi Yami says, Rabbi Yami, my cry, what is a pasuk? Kitoli banim uvnei banim. Amri le Rav Kahana v'Ravasi le Rav, says Rav Kahana to Ravasi to Rav, it's written by Bosha ben Elah v'Yasara ben Hashem, rak lo kemal Eretz Yisrael. Uchtiv, and it's written, Alav Allah shel manesar melech Ashur v'yagel et Ashur yeda. So therefore, not because it's not like Shelo Yirshia, like that, so they came to Puranut in his days. Amalu, they answered, Otam b'disiyot shel shiv Yerovam al drachim, the same shomrim, the same guardians that Yerovam ben Nevat put on Yerushalayim, Shelo Ya'alu L'Regel, Hoshea came and he bitlan, and he annulled them. And still, Lo Alu L'Yisrael L'Regel. They didn't do Aliyah L'Regel. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tan Shanim Shelo Al Yisrael L'Regel, Yeluchu B'Shevi. What happened? Imagine, at the beginning, they put guards. You're not allowed to do Aliyah L'Regel. Afterwards, he came and he annulled the guards, Hoshea. And even after annulling the guards, they still didn't do Aliyah L'Regel. Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for those years that they didn't go out to do Aliyah L'Regel, they're going to go in captivity. Amar Rav Chasta, Amar Marukva, Ba'amnil, Amar Rav Chasta, Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah, Derash min Me'ar, Mai Diktiv, what do you mean in the Pasuk? Vayishkod Hashem al ha'ra v'yiviyah alea alenu, ki tzadik Hashem alenu, Mishum de tzadik Hashem alenu, vayishkod al ha'ra, right? Al ha'ra v'yiviyah alenu. He says, what? Because Hashem is a tzadik on us, He's going to do the bad for us and bring us the bad? Ela tzedakah, Asa HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael ve'egla galut Tzidkiyahu v'adayin galut Yechoniah yikremet. Do you know that He first brought the galut of Tzidkiyahu before the galut of Yechoniah? Why? Because they were still alive. So therefore they were able to dichtiv begalut Yechoniah, but it's written by galut Yechoniah, hecharash v'masger elef. Charash, shebeshar shepachtin asu kol charashim. When they used to speak divrei Torah, everybody became deaf mute. Masger, shesogrin shuven. The second they closed halacha, nobody was able to open up the halacha. The kama, how many talmidei chachamim were there? 1,000 talmidei chachamim. That means there were 1,000 talmidei chachamim that they learned Torah, that they were the golim to Bavel. Ula comes and he says, meaning, if you have V'noshantem, it's 850 years. So if you have the 800, that's what he says, that they were exiled after 850 years, instead of V'noshantem, which is 852. Because if they would have been 852 years, they would have been destroyed. Which means that you see from here that if it wasn't for the fact that Hashem sent them into exile after 850 years instead of 852, they would have been destroyed. So it's a tzedakah that Hashem did to them, that they went to exile early 2 years. Amar Rav Acha bar Yaakov, says Rav Acha bar Yaakov, Shema we learn from here, Mehera de mare alma tam de 150 tartehu. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu says the word Mehera, you know what Mehera means? Quickly? It means 852 years. Because he went and he said that I'm going to be Maher. Right? So according to Ula, which one? Yeah, 800 means no, V'noshantem. V'noshantem is 852. If he would have left them in there until 852, they would have been destroyed. So therefore he took them after 850 in order to be considered the what? That they weren't going to be destroyed. 852. Here's the Mishnah Pechet Amud Bet. 88b says the Mishnah, get me'oseh, a get that they forced the husband, right, to give the get, be Israel, kasher. Meaning as long as it was done by a betin of Israel, it's going to be kosher. That means they came and they beat the guy up. Until he gives the get, it's still going to be kosher.
The betin who does that.
No,
they take
fine, but the bidyonim were sent from the bedin. Meaning they were the shliach of the bedins. Yeah? The bedins used to get the policemen to do it. Yeah, so, but that means it's coming from the bedin of Israel. Right? So therefore, it's going to be kosher. Ubeovdei kochavim, to do with an oved kochavim in goy, it's going to be pasul. Ubeovdei kochavim choftin oto. Now, if right now they want to force them by the goyim, choftin oto, they're going to punch them out basically. They're going to say, you have to do that which Israel tells you to do. Okay? You have to do that which the Jews tell you to do. Fine. Says the Gemara. Amar Rav Nachman Amar Shmuel. Says Rav Nachman Amar Shmuel. Get a meuseh beYisrael. Kedin kasher, meaning as long as the bedin forced the get to be done, it's going to be a kosher get. Shelo kedin, but if it wasn't done like kosher way, the get is pasul. Uposel, and it's going to be posel the woman of also getting married as well. Ubeovdei kochavim, to do with ovdei kochavim, right? Kedin, it's going to be pasul. Uposel shelo kedin, afilu reach haget embo. That means it's not even considered like there was a reach haget. What does it mean? There's not even considered a reach haget. Meaning that even if it's going to be like there's nothing, as if there was no get given. So even she could get married to a Kohen and everything. Why? Because there was nothing there. Fine. Says the Gemara, Manavshach. Right, 1 second. What's going on over here? Manavshach. If you're going to tell me that we're talking about the Ovdei Kochavim, that they are forcing them to do it, so why don't we just say that it's going to become kosher as well? And if they cannot force them to do it, so then, Mifsalo Lifsal, it should make a pasul to a kuhuna. Meaning, Manavshach, you have to decide. Does it make them pasul? Or does it make them pasul? So Amar of Meshashia says of Meshashia, Dvar Torah, get meuseh beovdei kochavim kasher. A get which is going to be forced by ovdei kochavim is going to be kosher. So why do they say it's pasul? שלא טועה כל אחד ואחת הולך ותולה עצמו ובכך ומפקעת עצמה מהבעלה. Because then you know what a woman's going to do? She's going to go to a goy, and she's going to get the goy to beat up the husband to give a get. We don't want that. Right. So because of that, it's pasul. Meaning the fact that if it was done that a bedin got that's going to be okay. But here, she's going to do that. We don't want that. So because of that, it's going to be pasul. So says the Gemara, if so, shelo kedin, afilu reach get. But we just said that there's not even reach get. So then it should make a pasul. So says the Gemara, you're right. The explanation of Meshashia is beduta. Beduta means it's false. It's not true. The Tamamai, the reasoning is that we don't want to start making differentiations between them. Even though Mina Torah, it's not a get at all. Chachamim made a gezerah that it's going to be posel bekiuna, because maybe they're going to say that if it was done through a Jew, it's not going to help, and it does help by a Jew. So because we didn't want to make differentiations, if it was done by the goy, by the Jew, so if it's always going to be posel. But if you're not going to do it properly, meaning you're going to do it by the goyim, it wasn't done properly, to mix it up with the Jews doing it, then you're not going to mix it up. So Abaye once found that Rav Yosef was forcing somebody to give a get. Elmaleh, he told him, he says, but we are hedyotot, we're not the qualified people to start forcing gets. The Tanya, we learned in a Braita, Rabbi Tarfon Omed, anytime that you see the places of the Chochavim that they're sitting in judgment, even though they judge like the Jews, you're not allowed to judge for them. You can only judge in front of the Jewish court, not in front of a non-Jewish court. The second explanation is not only that it has to be done in a Jewish court, it has to be done in a Jewish court and not in front of hedyotot, simple people. It has to be done in front of smuchim, people that are very, very high-end, high caliber. So he comes, Elmaleh, he says, Ana shluchitayu kavdinan. We are doing the shlichut of the dayanim smuchim beretz Yisrael, just like Hodaot and Alvaot, and therefore we're allowed to come. Meaning, even though they were doing the smicha and everything in Eretz Yisrael, and we're in Bavel, we're allowed to do it. Because we are the shluchim of Eretz Yisrael, and therefore we're allowed to come, and we're allowed to do it. If so, so also, Gezela and Chavala, also we should do the same thing. Gezela is if you steal something that you would have to pay back double, or Chavalot if you hit someone or things like that. So answers the Gemara, when do we do the shlichut? They mean to the shlicha, only things which are common. They mean to do the shlicha, but anything which is not going to be common, right? Lo avdina shlichutai. We're not going to do the shlichut. Fine. Next Mishnah. Says the Mishnah. Okay? The Mishnah comes and it says, Yatza Shema Be'ir Mekudeshet. If it came out her name in the city that she's married, Harezu Mekudeshet. So she's prohibited to everybody. That means even if you don't have a proof, but if everyone, she got married. You don't know if she got, everyone's saying that she got married. She's already married. Megureshet, if everyone heard that she's divorced, Megureshet, she's divorced, right? And she's not allowed to marry a Kohen, right? Or if she's married to a Kohen, she's not allowed to be with her. Uvilvad shelo yesh shama matla, as long as there's no excuse. What's the excuse? If he divorced her on condition, or, for example, he threw her the kiddushin, and there was a safek karov lo, safek karov la, that's a good amatla, that's a good excuse. Meaning, if there was an excuse for it, so it makes sense. If there's no excuse, why are they doing it? Imagine right now you heard Miss So-and-so, she got married. And then afterwards they come and say, what are you talking about? It's not true, this and that. But you don't know anything about it. So if you don't know anything about it, so then what's going on? You understand? So because of that, that's what we said, right? It's not going to help. Fine, unless there's going to be a good excuse. Okay? Fine, next. Yeah? The Gemara. V'asrina la agavra. We're going to make her a sur just because of what people say? Meaning you just heard something happen. You're going to make her a sur? But Ravashi comes and it says, any voice that comes after the wedding, we don't pay attention to it. So answers the Gemara, this is what it means to say. If it came out that she's married in the city, she's mekudeshet. Right? Mekudeshet umegureshet. But if it is that she was married and after she was divorced, harezu megureshet. She's going to be divorced. My tama, what's the reasoning? Kol the shovro imo. Because you have the kol, but you have the shuvar with it as well. Meaning you had a kol that she was married. Yeah, you had a kol that she was married. But at the same time that you had the kol that she was married, you had the same kol saying that she was divorced. So because of that, it's going to be okay. Okay, we continue with Hashem tomorrow.